I hope we get some things.
That ain't it.
What?
You start. Yeah,
What
I
up?
think I
Man,
double
my
clicked the
computer,
button or
look,
something like that.
my computer needs to get some pep to it because I was not able to do what I needed to do in 30 seconds, damn it, because my computer was slow. What's up, y'all? Happy Tuesday. Today is Tuesday, January 17th. Yep, the 17th. Welcome to Free Thinkers. Welcome to this show. Um, Once again, here we are, Tuesday night, 8:05 live every Tuesday. It is a very rare Tuesday that you will catch us not having a show. So we are here all the time, even if it's just us two. We, of course, always invite you and would prefer to have some other folks in here to digest some conversation and give us some perspective. But we are always here every Tuesday. So feel free to join us in a variety of ways. You can engage with us here in the conversation live on our Facebook on our Free Thinkers Facebook page at the very top. Every Tuesday it's pinned, so there are instructions on how to get into the video. Every Tuesday the link changes, so you need to go to the Facebook Free Thinkers page, join that page. It is a open page, it's public, it's not private, so other people obviously do have access to the page as well. Unless you're like blocked or banned from the page, but that's just like not a common thing. So it's easy to get in there. It's always pinned up at the top. Other videos that we've done weeks prior also pinned up at the top, but hit that StreamYard link and it will bring you directly into the live panel. If you are not interested in doing the live panel, but you want to engage in conversation with us while you watch, or even after you watch, you can always comment in the comment section, whether it's live on the YouTube channel or my page or the Facebook Free Thinkers page. In the comment section, whatever you post pops up on our screen, and we usually will throw it up on our screen so that we can, still hold conversation with those of y'all who are engaging with us in the comment section. So please do feel free to comment and engage with us live there as well. Usually it'll show your picture and your name, so we'll know who we're talking to, but on occasion it somehow will pull into the computer and it will say Facebook user. So sometimes we don't see who it is that's leaving comments, but generally we will. So we engage with people in the comment section. And even after the show is over, if you watch the video later and you hear something that we talk about and you have a comment, you can still comment and we get it and we'll engage with you afterwards. Like, the conversation does not end just because it's 8:05, 9:30, maybe 10 o'clock, depending on how late we go. So definitely follow us on all of our pages. We've got the YouTube channel, which is Free Thinkers Worldwide. Thank you to the folks who subscribe each week, and in between Tuesdays, obviously we take a look at our numbers, and it's always cool as shit, man, when we get 1, 2, 3 new people. So thank you to those who have joined the pages and who have shared. I mentioned this the last couple of weeks. We notice oftentimes, like, as soon as we get off of the conversation, we can look at our numbers and we've got 20 to 60 people watching through the duration of our conversation, and Facebook doesn't show us that. So let us know when you're watching. If you catch us and you're scrolling through your Facebook or you're on your YouTube and you catch us talking, just be like, hey, what's up, y'all? Let us know that you're watching. Hit the share button, hit the like button. That definitely helps us. Even if you don't want to engage because you're a little reluctant to maybe have your name be mentioned or something. I don't know, like, what the fuck. But hit that thumbs up anyways. Let us at least know, because so many times I'll talk to somebody after the show is over and they'll be like, yeah, I was watching last night, or I was watching earlier and I was like, man, I didn't see that. So love to know who's watching us. So just hit us in the comment section, hit the likes, hit the hearts, hit the share more than anything. And it's free. It's how it helps support us. But more than anything, come to the conversation. That's what this is about. It's having conversations with other people and just gaining perspective of where other people are coming from on a variety of topics. Some weeks we have no real set topics. We do what's called pick a post, where we just grab stuff off of our page. the Facebook page, that is. And then some weeks we do have topics. So if somebody suggests like, hey, this would be a good free thinkers topic, then we generally are going to talk about it. And that's what tonight's topic is. Adriana actually posted something on the Facebook page. Maybe it must have been last week. So it was after last Tuesday's conversation. And it was just some interesting perspective of what a girlfriend shouldn't do in a relationship. So I was like, oh, let's talk about this. She wanted some perspective. So I was like, cool, let's do it. So, some weeks, like I said, some weeks we have topics, some weeks we don't. We generally go till 9:30. Sometimes we will go a little bit over if the conversation's great and folks want to stay. You're welcome to chime in whenever you want, and certainly able to leave whenever you need to. But of course, we do invite you to be here for the whole conversation. But if you do jump in late, just sit tight and see what we're talking about, catch up a little bit and then jump in for conversation and, come talk. That's what this is about. Language warning, of course, because oftentimes there are, colorful words used, profanity used. So just being mindful of where you listen, how you listen, be it on speaker or in your earbuds or who's around you when listening. But it is adult conversation, adult topics. So tonight is definitely going to be no different. We're talking about what men and women should or should not do in a relationship.
Some of our free thinkers. I'm gonna talk to you about that offline. I got a bone to pick with some.
Okay. Okay. As long as I'm on that list, that's all right.
Yeah. No, you ain't on the list. I got a bone to pick, and when I got a bone to pick, then I pick the bone.
All right. Well, we're gonna pick bones.
I'll tell you about it later. But yeah.
Okay. So, I thought, and I even thought about just going through a quick little synopsis of like what's happening in like news right now, just because there's some interesting things taking place. But I was like, we'll just get to the point. We'll get to the topic. We'll just get straight to what our whole point of the conversation was tonight.
We're not good at jumping on stuff and jumping back off of it.
So yeah, I don't want to detour. I want to keep it to
take us 50 minutes.
And it's funny because I was listening, I listen to every show after we're done multiple times. And I was listening to last week afterwards, and I was just like, so many places, so many different directions, that conversation went. I mean, it all wrapped into each other, but it just kept going.
On it was only 3 topics that we were on pretty much.
Yeah, but that just seemed it just seemed to have gone so many different places in my mind. It was just like endless, like blooming of conversation, of just more thoughts of things to think about. Like I had so many people hit me up after last Tuesday and be like, "Oh, that was a good one."
That was one of my favorite conversations.
I thought you say that. That was cool. I love that. That was probably one of my favorite conversations too. Every time I've watched it, it's been like a happy. It's just been a good energy. Like every time I listen to that conversation, that was great. And I even had a few people who were like, would y'all do a round 2? I was like, yeah, if you're gonna show up, absolutely, we'll do a round 2.
Like, yeah,
we
show up.
Yeah, talk about some more if you go be there. So
right, you need another person to give a different dynamic to the topic.
Right, because our opinions is not going to change.
We'll talk about the same thing over and over again.
Right. So if that's the case, go back and rewatch the episode. Otherwise, heck yeah, we'll talk about it again. If you saw last week's conversation where it was, it was where do white people come from, but then it was, where do people come from? Like
first we talked about the transgender thing, and then we talked about white people.
You're right. We did talk about.
And then we talked about just God and afterlife. That's what I said. It was only 3 subjects we talked about.
But it was like all the same conversation. It was crazy how it all flowed into each other well. So yeah, so I would totally derive the entire conversation by thinking about hot topics. So men and women, and I put the little meme up in there so that we could show people what we're referring to. And one of the things that I thought that was most interesting, obviously, is that this is pretty. This references women in no question. Like it wasn't a men and women, boyfriends, girlfriends. It was straight up girlfriends should not XYZ. So it was exclusive to women. Let me see if I can.
Disclaimer.
Do you see the?
Oh, you want me to put it up
there?
Will
you put it up there? Because I can't see it. My phone is still broken. Naturally, my phone is still broken.
By the way, I hate anything that comes from the shade room or whatever. Yeah, I hate that stuff. But
it can be good points of topic when
it's good points of topic. They always speak in absolutes, though. I get tired of the speaking in
well,
absolutes.
so obviously there's an absolute at the bottom there where it says no exceptions. And I was like,
and they do that
on.
stuff on purpose because they know that's what's gonna pull either the agreement or objection out of it. Anyway, go ahead.
So they're great prompts then. But again, for me, it was because I like to try to keep things neutral. Like I don't just
right.
I try to not just post, man specific or women specific things. Like I try to, I try to be equal when I say, men and women. But when I saw this, I was like, nah, this is not a girlfriend/boyfriend. This is women. This is who y'all don't need to be talking to when you're in a relationship. So the number one question I had written down on my notebook was, does this even apply to men? So I'm not even going to get into that yet. Like we can obviously go through the list first, but that was the first thing I noticed, that this is women exclusive. So this is definitely saying what women should not do when in a relationship. So your girlfriend, and I even wrote down girlfriend, boyfriend, and then I was like, no, that's not accurate. So your girlfriend shouldn't be talking to. First of all, and you don't even have to go into any of the rules per se, but is this a conversation that you and your fiance have had? Do y'all have this conversation? Or is this one of those just unspoken rules, do you think?
No. If there's something that crosses a line, then we'll have a conversation. But
right.
I don't see. Let me go down the line on this stuff. And I don't think I can have this conversation just one-sided. I have to look at it on both sides. Shouldn't be talking to exes. That is.
And remember, it says no exceptions.
And forget about that.
That's that changes the whole dynamic. That's the whole point of this thing.
Any of these, so all of these are no exceptions. Or
that's what it says. It says no exceptions.
Yes. Okay. Let me go down. Let's go to the no exceptions.
Can I take it off?
No. I still need it actually.
Okay.
Exes. Is there an exception to that? Mostly not, but there's wiggle room. Any guy best friend, yes, there's exception to that. Any man who likes her, yes, there's exception to that. Any man who liked her, yes, there's exception to that. Any guy she used to like, yes, exceptions, all exceptions. So I would not disqualify all of those. Okay, I'll let you jump in because I got plenty to say about that, but go ahead.
So under what conditions then would a man place those boundaries upon his woman if each of them has legitimate, reasonable, logical exceptions? Why would he say that this is the list of things that she cannot do? Why would he do that if the exceptions are so easily
narcissistic, insecure, controlling?
So it is control.
And that also
controlling.
It's absolutely control. And it's also, if you look back at these are the things that I've seen people do, mostly men in these situations. It sounds cute. It sounds like it sounds like it's a fair standard, but these are all ways that men get. This is their starting point to isolate women from the rest of their group or their tribe or whatever. Because not only that, some of this stuff is subjective. What if I just say, oh, Nikki, he like you, right? You can't talk to him no more. No, he don't like me. He never said, oh yeah, I could tell he like you. It's like even some of that stuff is, well, if he don't like you now, I could tell he liked you at one point. It's how did y'all meet? Oh, we met at a bar. Oh, y'all met at a bar. Oh, he must have been trying to come on to you. It's all subjective stuff.
That speaks to the insecurity part. Because oh my God, I could just feel that shit. Was like, oh, go away.
Oh, y'all met at a bar. Oh, it's just no. That stuff. No.
I think that I didn't have a problem agreeing to most of the list, given that it was obviously reciprocated, but it was it was the exes, and then guy best friends. I can understand any man who likes her. I can understand that. I can understand it. I may not necessarily like it, but I can understand any man who likes her. I can understand any man who liked her. I can get it. I get it. Like the way I understand men today is different than the way I used to understand men. So
if that's the case, it's just saying you can't. Why don't you just say you can't have any male friends?
Because I think that you can have male friends. I think that you can't. I think that there could be a line for some men when it becomes a man who had displayed a certain type of interest or energy or chemical, whatever, with a woman, as opposed to a man that hasn't pursued, hasn't turned on no kind of lights, no indicators that the door is open. Like
that ain't what the post say. That's not what the post says.
No, but so I'm saying I can understand why those bottom ones I do understand versus
that they don't
the top.
like you or haven't liked you.
Do what?
Just because they never displayed it doesn't mean that they don't like you.
That's true, but they had enough discipline for one reason or another, be it they didn't want to get themselves in a situation or her in a situation, whatever it may be. They had enough discipline to keep that to themselves, so much so that she never knew.
Or they could just be a simp. But who?
They could be a simp. They could be a simp, but usually they weed themselves out.
Marshmallow dudes who like to mess out of something. Like, dude, is you ever gonna talk to her? You just gonna keep acting like you are her friend forever? Like,
but if she's got it, but if she has a man though, then clearly, dude needs to play his position. If chick is not in a position where she's trying to leave her dude, but
acting like a friend is not playing your position. That's waiting in the dugout before you're up to bat.
And that's grimy.
But that's what a lot of people do. It's like, no, that's not playing position.
That's
I mean,
so
that role, but that ain't playing your position. I've playing the role of a friend, but you're not actually playing your position.
Well, so I think that it can happen that way, but I also could think it can happen in a way where maybe somebody isn't waiting in the damn dugout per se, but like maybe they just never found the right time and just have decided like, no, I'm good. I can put that shit on the back burner. Value of friendship type of situation. Because I was thinking about this earlier. I was like, because I posted something about, being grateful for platonic relationships and the friendships that I have, not just platonic, but just, grateful for the friendships that I have. And I was like, when we were kids, we made friends with people and we made friends with all kinds of people and not was every friendship based on the foundation of, I might want to get to, jump your bones one day, or I might want to be your girlfriend or your boyfriend one day. Like, did you have chemical reactions and attractions to some people? Of course, but you made friends with people because you made friends with people.
Who gets to decide though? Who gets to decide what this, like, do you as the woman get to decide or determine if, no, this is not my friend, no, they never liked me, no, they used to like me, or does your partner get to decide, oh yeah, he liked you, or he used, like, who decides?
I think that would be a fair conversation. Well, I think maybe in some situation where it isn't obvious, that it is a fair conversation to have for like with both of them, simply because I think men see things in other men that women don't see. I think that men know things obviously about other men that women don't know. So like there's going to be things that a man's going to see another man do that he already knows what that is because he's a fucking man. Whereas women,
so now you're allowing that person to tell you, no, you can't talk to them. They like you.
I'm not saying allowing them to tell you no, but it's worth having a conversation if a man is feeling some type of way about another man's behavior around his woman. And if it's supposed to be her best friend, or it's one of her exes or one of the men on this list, absolutely fair game for him to say something to her. Now, hopefully she'd be willing to have a conversation rationally about a situation, because how you handle that also makes or breaks a situation. But I think that there are exceptions, and that's the problem. I think that some of these I do understand, and I would sign up for them, maybe given the right situation, but then some of them.
So hold on, I'm doing a whole lot of generalizing right now. Let's start zeroing in on these one by one, or otherwise it's going to be a 20-minute conversation. And
all right.
So let's start up top. Your girlfriend shouldn't be talking to exes. Let's stay specifically on exes.
Okay.
What do you feel about that, and vice versa?
The only thing for me that's different between certain exes is if you have children with this person. And I
Right.
understand that even in some co-parent relationships, you might not need to have no business talking to your ex. I get it. Not all ex situations are good ones, but but the ex is never not going to be there. It's just never not. Whether
Right.
we deal with each other or not, you're never not going to be there. So I'm going to have to deal with my ex. And I personally prefer to have a good relationship with my ex, not with any expectation of getting back together with this person, but having harmony and being able to be good people for the children, regardless of what our dynamic is. And for that,
Okay, so you don't agree with that.
means me and my new dude are gonna butt heads, then we're gonna butt heads. I promise we are.
So okay. So then there's a okay. So there's a wiggle room. So when it says this is hold on, no exception. So there is an exception. So you disagree with that. You disagree with the X's.
The first two I disagree with. The rest of
Okay, hold on. Let's go down one by one. Let's take time one by
So
one.
X's has to be an exception. Now X's without children, now you might have to go. You might have to go.
Yeah. See, that's one of the things. It's not so much the label, it's the interaction. So
exactly, which is why no exceptions
whether
is
you're
not
X
fair.
or not, it's like what type of, unfortunately, I have to interact with my ex. I don't want to, and I hate doing it, but it has to be done. Right. But that's the thing. So now, so let me go back 2 spaces. Number 1, anybody who's with me, you need to get that out your mind already. I have young children with my ex.
Right. Go somewhere with that.
Why would you even be with me knowing this situation? Don't even try to get with me and then try to control that situation.
Right.
From the standpoint of no exception.
Right.
Now, just because I have an ex, that don't mean we going out to lunch and hanging out and doing all this.
Right.
We're gonna be friends and double date and all that. No, that there is exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Right. So there is. It's not so much about the ex, it's about the interactions. Like, I'm not comfortable with the, the way that you interact and the thing, or the access that they feel that they have. They feel like they can call you at certain times of night and have personal that's non-child emergency related. Like, no, we're not doing that.
Right.
And you have the right to say that. You have the right to draw lines in that in the relationship that your partner and their ex have. I
agree with that. There have to still be boundaries. Like I know for an absolute fact, should I get into a serious relationship with somebody that I'm committed to, I'm loyal regardless, right? But like I'm also loyal to friendships that I have.
Right.
There would have to be some dynamic changes. I am quite sure, depending on. There would have to be some dynamic changes. I think that, and so I also try to look at this list very subjectively because I can be a man's best friend, but I also understand that all men can't be a woman's best friend. So the threat level sometimes is different, men versus women, women versus men in those situations. I'm a woman's woman, so I'm never going to prey upon another woman's man. Like he may be a cheat. He might have a wandering eye, but like, I'm not going to entertain that. If I know that this is somebody who is married, has a girlfriend, has a partner, whatever. Everybody don't do the same thing. So I feel as though so my issue with this list was I could be this woman to an ex, and it not be an issue, but that's not the case for everybody. So I would have to definitely have, a man who's secure with my relationship, let's say with my kid's dad, because, we're not together, but that's a big part of our life. Like he's still a big part of our life. He's going to be a big part of our life. Now am I gonna be inviting him over, to family dinners with the new dude? I mean, I don't see why I can't, but if that's not
and Steve, some of that, okay, so let me say it like this. Part of it also depends on the dynamic between your current and your ex.
True.
If they don't get along, then
that'd be terrible.
You really limit. So my current and my ex, they don't get along. Mm-hmm. So that definitely creates a harder boundary between even what even what I'm willing to do with my kids for the sake of my kids. And my kids, hey dad, let me show you my new room and this. I'm like, well, no, I just you can show me, we can get on Duo and you can show
Right.
me
Let me
from your
see what the
video. I'm
phone,
not
just
to this
FaceTime
day,
me.
I've
Right.
never taken a step inside of her house, and I ain't let her
Damn.
take a step inside of mine. Like, no, we don't rock like that. Now, on the flip side, I have a best friend who went through a similar situation, and the breakup time, everything almost similar, exact, got same amount of kids, everything. And but his ex and his current are cordial and they
Right.
get along well.
Right.
So they're able, his ex and her boyfriend and him and his wife, they all can get together for Thanksgiving and for Christmas, and they can
And
all
honestly, I
cohabitate.
feel like it's supposed to be like
It's
that,
supposed to
man.
when
And
it's
I have a
allowed
hard
to be
time with what
that,
it's
and I
supposed to
think
be.
it's a beautiful thing. I absolutely think it's beautiful.
Right.
But that's when the situation allows it to be that. But
True.
if the situation ain't like that, then no, I'm not even gonna remotely, act cool with you. Or, if you're not cool with mine, then I can't. I can only, co-parent up to a certain point with you. That's it.
Right. Right. See, and
And I
I
ain't
guess,
doing none of that other stuff.
and so for that, I like I said, I feel like there has to be exceptions because it isn't obviously one size fits all for
Right.
everybody's
So
situation. But
the whole
clearly,
post is a lie from the get-go, but go ahead.
but there
I
was a
just
lot of people who agree with it though, and maybe I don't know if that was just
who's these
ego
guys?
being
That's why I want to
funny.
know. That's why I said the people who agree with that, they're either single or
Cheating,
that maybe,
probably
or
cheating.
one of the people if they in a relationship, one of them ain't happy.
Right.
So
Right.
either they not happy or they are happy, but their partner is not happy. And they partner and that's and they partner might be, I don't even want to say cheating, but their partner might be breaching those
Uh-huh.
unwritten rules without them knowing. Because if I can't freely just be an adult person, then I'll have to, go other routes with that. And some people are like, well, don't lie about it. Just, well, it's easy to say that sometimes, but if you have children with someone and it's the threatening to, something that will threaten breaking up your family, your ability to see your kids and other things like that, and households and all, sometimes people be like, well, whatever, you just ain't got to know. But you as an adult, you don't want your relationship to get to that level.
Right.
So you want to make sure that both of y'all feel the same way. And you know what? Those are the people who have joint Facebook accounts.
Oh no. You ain't got no joint Facebook account. Look, I can keep
Robert
my own,
and
let
Julie
alone try to
Smith.
ask
I'm like,
somebody
oh,
too
this is
much.
y'all Facebook page together then, huh? Okay.
Oh, where you gotta like make the first name be like two names in one because it's not
Yeah.
made for two fucking people's accounts.
But
two
it's both
people's
people
names on
name.
one account.
It's John and Julie Smith. That's
Oh
the
my
page.
god.
They're like both
Oh
of
my god.
oh,
I
really?
think the only time that might be acceptable, honestly, and no shade to any of my friends that have fucking joint accounts, because I know some of y'all do, and it just is what it is. I think the only time that's really acceptable is when you're old, like legit, when you're just like an old, like you're just a fucking old person, you're a grandparent, you're old. So it's like aunt and uncle so and so. It's like, granny and grandpa stuff. Like it's old
like
people.
We don't have a need to share
We don't
separate.
need two accounts. He don't check.
The,
she don't check it. Like I might check it once a month, but like no, there's no such thing as two accounts. That's the only time.
Or some people in very rare situations, I know when they'll say, James and Jennifer Jones, this and this and that, then sometimes like one person really don't even use it at all. Like one person is just their name on it, but one person just don't. Like
they're never on.
Even with my cousin, I don't I I don't do a lot of conversating with, anybody's spouse or
Right,
anything like that. But
right,
my
right.
cousin's wife, I will comment on her page, or I'll do stuff like that, because it's basically like both of their page, even though his
Right,
name and or
right,
like half the stuff
right,
he posted on there is like weightlifting stuff. I know that's him posting it,
right.
it's him posting it or her posting it for him or whatever. So I'll respond and interact with it because I know it's basically both of their page, but he just ain't on Facebook. So he uses her
Right,
account in order to kind
right.
of get his stuff out there.
Is
So
it kind of weird though too? Like, is it like just put the app on your phone or like I don't
yeah.
know. Like, are they old?
No, younger
No.
than me. He just don't care for Facebook. So I just
I
like, yeah,
guess
okay,
so.
whatever.
Babe, let me see your phone. I want to get on. Let me see what people talk about. That's just so funny to me. Yeah, I would never do a joint account. I'm sorry. I'm just not. You can have my
No,
passwords. I
I'm
don't
not.
give a damn. That's fine. But I'm
Yeah,
not
I'm
doing a
not
joint
doing
account.
no. I'm not doing no joint
No.
account. Nope.
And like I said, you don't want to be attached to mine. I can't even keep my own damn page, let alone try to keep somebody to add it on my page. We always gonna get kicked off. No.
No, that's I don't know. Maybe that's it really seems like smothering behavior to me. That's one of those things when I see it, then it don't necessarily mean anything, but I definitely have an eyebrow raised at y'all relationship. Like,
It makes you wonder, like, why?
why? What's going
Right.
on? Is there somebody controlling? Is somebody insecure in this relationship?
And
Is it
but Q, if they literally sit there and tell us, like, no, there was nothing
I don't
wrong.
care about that. Everybody says that until the breakup, and then like,
But
yeah,
like that's what I'm saying. Like, what if they
yeah, he
really are
wouldn't
just
let me.
like, no,
You know how many
nothing ever
conversations I heard
happened.
where everybody was in lockstep together while they were together, and then after they broke up, yeah, he made me stop talking to all my friends, and then I couldn't go out, and he made me close all my social media accounts. And I've heard, oh my God, I've heard this many times.
But what if nothing bad ever happened and they
I just
just
don't believe it. I don't believe it.
well,
I don't
what would it
believe,
called if
unless you
that
are a smotherer, I
seems
don't
like there's no
believe
possible
that
way?
people enjoy having joint social media accounts.
But what if the person is like your cousin and they just never get on? They're just never on.
There's exceptions to the rule, but like I
That's what
said,
I'm saying. So, like, if
my
nothing bad ever
eyebrow is
happens, like what?
raised. But see, this is the other thing. So my eyebrow will still even be raised in that situation. But I know that I know them outside of social media. Like I said, that's my
Right,
cousin, and like, hey, we went to California together. It's not like they're stuck at the hip and they don't let each
right,
other give each other their own
right,
space. So
right, right,
since I
right.
know in real life how they operate, yeah, they got the together time and the part time, and they operate normally. Outside of that, if I didn't see that, then yes, my eyebrow would be raised. Like, yo, that's some weird stuff.
Yeah, the joint Facebook is kind of strange. Just like, yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. That's controlling, absolutely controlling, in my opinion.
I think so.
My
And
opinion.
I've known so many instances of, I just see signs where it's
Yeah,
potential controlling
yep,
behavior. And like
yep.
I said, again, as an adult, why would you want this thing or that thing as an adult? Why would
Mm-hmm,
you want that? That
mm-hmm,
don't make sense to me.
mm-hmm,
Like I could anyway. Like so
mm-hmm.
and just not in so maybe you like being around your partner all the time. Why does it have to be a public display of we always together all the time? Like even if you are, we together all the time. Well, I don't get out and do much. We together. Why does it have to publicly be a public show of that? See, that's sign that those make me feel like those signs of insecurity.
Well, it makes you question why you have chosen to give up your identity as an individual and only identify as a we, as a couple.
Right.
Like, I can love my fucking man inside out, up and down. Have everybody know I love my man. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's
Right.
absolutely no questions or secrets whatsoever. But I'm still gonna be Nikki. Like, I'm still gonna
Right.
have. Like, I don't even know how I feel about taking a man's last name if I get married. Like, and that doesn't mean I'm going to be any less loyal or committed or devoted, but
And,
like,
yeah.
so it just makes you, it just makes me curious, I guess, about people who don't, who I don't want to use the wrong word, who may not place value in their identity as an individual as much
Right.
as they do their identity as a unit or a married couple, or this is my person. Mm-hmm.
And see, even when younger days, when I first got married, like, oh no, if they not taking my last name, we not getting married. Ain't gonna be no marriage.
I mean,
Like that's
I
not.
guess that's an appropriate response. That's an appropriate response. It's very appropriate.
I'm like,
Regardless of
no,
what I said,
look,
that's still
nope,
appropriate.
you ain't taking my name, then we not getting. Nope,
Yep.
that will be postponed. That let me know that you ain't trying to have us be one together. You trying to do your own thing still.
And so do you think that it's still that?
No, not at all. My current, I'm like, okay, so was you thinking about taking my name? Or was you? I like, it was just a question. Like, I was all up to you.
Yeah.
I don't care either way,
But you no longer think it's because the person wouldn't want to be as committed to somebody if they chose not to take their last name. Well, that's good. No. I feel like I've been Davy for 44 years. I don't have any brothers. My sons have their father's last name. My daughter has mine. There is nobody to carry on our last name.
And that was her sentiment also. Like, well, there's nobody else gonna come. I'm like, well, keep it if you want to keep it. I don't care.
And he really got to have a badass last name, and I'll probably merge them together because professionally, I've always been my first and last name professionally. Like, my dad is in the profession that I am, and I followed in his footsteps. So our last name it's not famous by any means, but there's some notoriety with our name, and it's significant with our business and our place in the community, and that's very fucking important to me. So he got to have a badass last name to.
I still like, and really in my thought, I still want to. I want both of us to change our name at the same time
to just something totally different.
Yep, I want to find a.
Oh yeah, because you said you wanted to choose your last name.
My original area, whether Congo or Gabon, or hers is from Senegal, and I was like, I'd rather take one of. We both change our name at the same time.
That'd be so cool, though.
I think it would too.
I think it would. Fucking dope. Like, why not start your own lineage, or try to bring back your original lineage? Like, do you have any idea of what names are like? What are some examples?
Not yet. I'm trying to get people on board with it. I'm trying to get. Every time I throw the idea out there, then don't nobody like it. I'm like, man, I think that's a great idea.
Well, I guess the kids would be a little different because, of course, their mom would clearly have to agree. But would you do the whole family?
I mean, that's only temporary. Like, and not only that, why would they have my last name anyway? So,
well, but if you were going to change your last name,
I know, but I'm saying it ain't like it's their last. It's not like they have her last name, or her maiden name. Well, they have my current. They have Tyus. They have my current last name.
Well, I guess
so if I chose to change it, and furthermore than that, once they become a certain age, then they could change it anyway. So
for sure. I just didn't know if you would get pushed back if you tried to change their name as well.
Pushed back over everything.
No, don't be like that. Ladies,
but I mean, I think it's a good idea. But
that is cool as shit. Is she warmed up?
Especially for Black people who neither one of them names belong to you. That's the perfect time for both of y'all to change your name.
Really? I mean, you're already gonna do it. So, is she remotely on board? Like, does she like the idea?
Well, even my name is still kind of unique. My last Tyus is still unique, so people kind of like that,
right?
So, and I mean, I like it too. Other than it being a German slave name, if it wasn't a German slave name, then I like it. But
damn it, that's an interesting concept. I like that. I mean, yeah, who's to say that you can't just change it altogether, or why not change it to something that's significant?
And something if there's something that one of the legacies I want to leave behind is to not have my children continue on with this slave name.
Right. Damn, I love that.
And everybody wants to, keep it just because it's and that's the other thing is I think people in my family they don't want to get rid of, because we are not reminded, and I'm talking about Tyuses. There's really no white Tyuses around anymore. So we're not constantly reminded of the the white
Where it
slave
came
owners
from.
versus if you are a Smith or a Johnson or a Jefferson or some of these other names that, there's clearly white people who carry that name also, and it's a reminder of where where it came from. Got black people last name, O'Quinn and stuff like come on. But since it kind of, at this stage, it feels like it belongs to us. I have not met a white Tyus person until to this day, so it's not like we're reminded of that. But
so
even
you
still,
pitched, so you've actually pitched this to your whole family, not just like your
I've been talking
immediate
about that. I've been talking
household.
about I've been talking about this for at least 10 years now.
Yeah,
I think I got Watch Hidden Colors. I was like,
so
yo,
dope
we need
though.
to...
If like, let's just say like everybody decided to change their name, like just like that. Now you are known as the.
would be.
Wow, that's powerful as shit.
My family ain't woke like that, so I don't know. I might have to just be solo on that.
I mean, but you can still do your household. You can still make the change in your household, and
it's one of those things. And then we're gonna jump back to this relationship.
Right.
It's one of those things. This is what I pay attention. So this is what I do on a simple basis. Say I'm at Burlington. I see a shirt I like. I'm like, oh, I really like this shirt. I really like these pants. I'll leave. Don't buy it, I'll leave. If I wake up tomorrow from driving down the street and I'm still thinking about it, then it lets me know it was important enough for me to actually want and to purchase. And then I'll go back and buy it.
Right.
If I go back the next day and I'm like, yeah, whatever. It wasn't that important for me.
Mm-hmm.
My point is with that, if there's a thought in my head and 10 years down the road it's still in my head, then it means it's something that's really important, no matter how much I try to downplay it.
Right.
So if it's something that I'm still thinking about to this day, and it was like over 10 years ago, it's something I probably need to go ahead and do. Otherwise, it wouldn't still be on the front of my mind like it is.
So you've been thinking about it then?
Yeah, absolutely.
I like that. That's exciting. I like that.
Okay, let's go to the next one.
Okay, so we got exes. So we agree there are exceptions with exes.
Right. Okay. Hold on. Before we jump past that, one quick part list. Non-children exes.
So that's what I was going to present too. So non-children exes.
I just asked you first.
I feel like new man could have a leg to stand on in asking women to not communicate with men that she's been in relationships with. I think that it is not a terribly uncommon or selfish request. However, again, I also think that there could be exceptions, but I also understand how it can be, push the buttons sometimes, territorially. You've shared your body with this person, you've shared your life, your heart, like that. I can understand that being an issue for new, for new relationship. So non-children versus with children, I think for me that's probably where the line is drawn, to be fair. If I believe you to be faithful to me, if I believe you to be truthful to me, if I believe you to be loyal to me, then I don't question you as my man. I do question other people's integrity, and I don't want my man to be in a situation like that. However, I know how I would act in a situation like that. I still act with integrity. I still act with loyalty. I can be in the presence of somebody that's been a lover or something to me, and not have desire to act upon that. However, we're not going to act like we don't know what existed. You know what I'm saying? So I can see that possibly posing an issue for new boyfriend, new partner, since we're going with the female aspect on here.
Yeah, I would say the partner have the right to inquire, and they do to require and to request. I think a lot of it just deals with the dynamic. Instance, oh yeah, we dated in college, and it's like, okay, is somebody you dated in college off limits, and you guys have been like friends 3 relationships through, like you've had 3 or 4 boyfriends since then, and they've had 3 or 4 girlfriends since then. And you just friends at this point.
Right.
Now, if this was your last ex and y'all broke up 2 months ago and y'all trying to stay friends,
yeah, that's different too.
No.
That's different too. That's different too. But to the man's point,
never had the same stuff next. That do be true. Look,
right?
What you do is you just take it and put it over in the corner somewhere.
Right. Like, they didn't hit it over in like the housewares and shit. Right. But I don't think that it's wrong. And I don't think it's necessarily selfish of man to inquire or to feel some type of way about women having a relationship with somebody that she's been with before. But to your point, yeah, that there's exceptions because yeah.
And I think the main thing, part of it, it's not just about the ex, it's the boundaries. So for instance, that's one of those things to where you can if number one, does that ex, are they willing to interact with you? Did they introduce themselves as your friend, just like a normal friend would?
Right.
Hi, I'm John. I'm such. Nice to meet you. Or are they standoffish when you come around? And every time you come around, then they got to get off the phone, and then they got to move every time. Like, okay, so why you got to go somewhere every time? If y'all just friends, why are you trying to keep distance between me?
Yeah, I know, dummy. Now you have the problems.
Right. Yeah. Now you got a problem. So it's just different dynamic. Do they are they mindful of your space? Like I do have female friends, and some maybe exes. I don't know. But like they would never call me at inappropriate times of the night.
Right. Yeah. No. If I call you at a horrible time, it's gonna be because something bad happened.
Exactly. So it's like, even you. But that's being respectful of who I'm with, and somebody who's actually your friend they're going to be respectful in that manner.
Yeah, because your friend doesn't want to cause issues for you.
Exactly.
Your friend already knows it's kind of be a little bit of a touchy situation. Like, absolutely.
So, okay. All right.
That's a real friend.
Let me get to let me find where is that? Okay.
Any man.
Okay. Any guy best friend. See, now the best friend that's one of those things where the best friend be around just think about a woman best friend. They you're gonna get a lot of random calls. You're gonna hang out. You're gonna go down to the domain. You might go, the best friend has it's different type of access. Best friend got different type of access.
That's true.
Do you have an issue with or should a man have an issue with having and I think they probably gonna be like, well, if he gay, that's like the exception is if he gay. For some reason, gay men get away with murder.
Right. You said they get away with murder.
They do.
They do all kind of shit, huh?
Right.
Cannot do.
Telling you. But how do you feel about the best friend?
Yeah, that would pose a problem for me. Now, is this a best friend that I have been? This kind of goes back to exes. Could an ex become the best friend? Right. So, is the best friend somebody that you've been intimate with before, or is the best friend somebody that's been exclusively?
No. Okay. Oh, this is the hierarchy.
Because you don't. And then your best friend that you were intimate with doesn't have to be an ex. So
no. But no, this is my thing. Anybody who it's gonna be an ex, even if it's not an ex-girlfriend or boyfriend, it's an ex-lover.
Well, so is this ex-boyfriend girlfriend, or is this ex?
So this would be my rule, and I'm not saying you can or can't, but if like I had this question with my sister once on High IQ. What are you first? Are you black first? Are you Christian first? Or are you a woman first? Like what's your hierarchy of that? So in this situation, the hierarchy would, for me, it would be you're going, if you've been physical with them, you're going to be the X before you are the
okay. So the best friend there's no physicalities whatsoever with the best friend. The best friend is an exclusively platonic male best friend.
Right. Okay.
So I can see Nubu, wanting to understand what the boundaries are. And I think that Nubu would probably think like most men, that most men have tried to have sex with girls. So therefore he must have some ulterior motives. So I think that, Nubu would probably have to just observe, male best friend for a little while. And I would think that if male best friend was really my male best friend, he's going to go to my man and have a conversation and be like, look, dog, like, I get it. But that would be one that I would have a problem with if Nubu told me that I could not communicate with my male best friend. Because there are a few men in my life who I've never been with that are absolutely critical to my fucking sanity and have been. So does that mean that the dynamics of some of the relationship, will change? There could be some change, a little bit in the dynamics of the relationship, but I'd have a problem if you told me I couldn't talk to mine. Right. That'd be an issue. That would be an issue.
I think mine is a little bit, it can be a little bit different because it's not as threatening if they don't live in the same city. So they don't,
right. Right.
So
right.
So even like I don't know if you remember Jaslyn. She's been on here a couple of times before, but yeah, that's I call her my little sister. That's she got a little sister rights, and like she'd come around or she'd call me anytime or but see, this is one of the things though that goes along with that. And she actually, before she got married, she had me come to dinner with her soon to be to check him out to see if he was to get my take on him, whatever.
Peter.
Yep. Oh, I tried to drill him too. I tried to ruffle his feather, throw a few things out there.
I remember she would bring him to the meeting sometimes.
I was like, yeah, he's a good dude. Ain't nothing else I can say. I like him.
Right.
But and we, me and my girl, we help situate their wedding and do other things like that. But the other part of that is if you are truly someone's friend, then you don't have to be, but you want to be their partner's friend or be as friendly as possible.
Right.
Like, so sometimes, we'll talk anytime, daytime, nighttime, anytime, just whenever we happen to call each other. And then there's other times I'll talk to my girl. Oh yeah, Jaslyn called me and told me that. So they'll speak without me knowing sometimes.
Right.
Like,
that's okay. That's totally okay.
Of course it is. But that's what I'm saying, because we are friends, and to ingratiate me as her big brother, then now that's her big sister. All like, that, but it just shows the way that you look at it versus somebody being secretive and doing little sly stuff like they're trying to hold a certain part of you to themselves. It's like, nah, well.
And that's going to cause issues, no doubt.
And then I have a best friend also who actually lives back in Decatur, and see, now this is another thing. So even my best friend, I have a male best friend and a female best friend. My best female friend, even from high school, we don't talk often just because she has her own dynamic. But even if we don't talk often or rarely at all, it's not a problem, because I've told my partner about my best friend a long time ago, and I speak about it on a regular basis. So even when she hear me talking, so, oh, that's such and such, I'll tell her I said hi.
Right.
Like, if you already, if somebody has a best friend, it shouldn't be a surprise best friend. Like, right. Oh, this is my best friend. If this is your best friend, why am I just hearing about him after 9 months?
Act like it. Don't be funny about it. Just act like it. Act like it.
Shouldn't be no surprise friend that you ain't never heard of in the last year. And now if this was your friend, then why am I just now hearing about this? That's kind of weird.
Well, in sidebar, because there are situations where, like, let's say you've been with somebody who just absolutely 100% cannot, they're just very insecure. They cannot deal with the fact that you have a relationship with somebody else outside of them. Like, those people are definitely going to make that situation challenging. You kind of can't be with those people either. Like, you can't be with insecure people. What's he talking about? I can't read shit.
Says the best friend get all the inside info and know all y'all business, so no. But why does that make, that's true, but why does that make it a no? Unless you just don't trust him and he just building up ammo for him to shoot his shot later down the road, which you do have to trust him.
Is that what that means?
Watch them dudes after that.
No dice. I don't know. I'm not following what was said when it was said. I'm seeing it on my laptop.
Talking what was that?
I don't know what they're speaking
to. They're probably just talking about the best friend. It's
best friend.
No dice on the best friend.
No dice. Damn. So no best friend. That's fucked up. That's gonna be a problem. That's gonna be a problem for me. I would have an issue with the new boo telling me that I can't be friends with my best friend. That would be a problem. Yeah. And again, and we've already defined best friend as somebody where there has been zero romantic, zero intimate interest. It's been exclusively
the best friend can be a bad influence to the relationship. Of course, but
so can a same-sex best friend.
That's what I'm saying. That's my point.
A same-sex best friend can be just as bad, if not worse. That's
what you took the words directly out of my mouth. It could be worse.
Because in reality, you're opposite sex. So my male best friend is supposed to be coaching me and telling me on the shit I need to be doing with my man, or
True that.
Just things that, like, put me on. Like, my male best friend, that's his job, is to put me on in places that I don't know because I'm a woman.
That's a lot of my female friends. I had to talk them off the ledge. Like, yo, you seeing this the wrong way. Or I could take, and see, this is, look, let me go and get in trouble real quick. This is women's problem sometimes. Y'all do that when y'all venting. The person you're venting to, they take the role of the empath and they just take in all your emotions. So even if you saying the most weird, twisted, messed up stuff, like, oh girl, it's gonna be all right. You just got you need to tell them, hey, you're wrong. You need to get yourself together. You should have did X, Y, and Z, and why did you do this? And sometimes being an empath, it makes you feel better, but it's not giving you sound advice in situations all the time. Sometimes you need sound advice.
Well, and you always need sound advice. Not sometimes. You always need sound advice. In my opinion, you always need sound. Like, and maybe that's why people don't come to me when they do, because I'm not going to give you no fluff conversation. Like, I'm going to give you sound advice. Otherwise, it's probably best you go talk to one of your other friends.
What I've learned, Nikki,
not going to do the same.
I gotta listen first. I gotta let them get their emotions out. I have to validate their emotions. Sometimes they need to be just heard. Sometimes they need to get it out. And then either at the end of that or the second conversation after they can calm down, then I give them their advice. But I gotta let people get it out before I just tell them they're wrong in the first 2 minutes. Like, why you do that?
I'm gonna cut you off, but I'm gonna let you know then when it's my turn. I'm gonna let you know.
I used to be real bad. And like Q, I had a friend like that. Q, sometimes I just need you to listen. I said, okay. I said, okay, enough said.
You know, it's funny because Jules will she'll call, or like when we talk, she'll be like, I know it's been a while since we've had a talk, we're doing the catch up, what's going on, checking in with each other in our lives and shit. And she'll be like, I chose not to, really just talk to you for a while. And I was like, no, that's totally fine. Like, that's absolutely great. Like, you needed to do what you needed to do, and you knew what I was probably going to say. So that's a wonderful thing, because it shows introspect that you already kind of know, what kind of conversation was going to take place based on how we catch up, the way that we do. And vice versa, like,
And
I'm only gonna cry over spilled milk so many times. I don't mean me with other people. I mean me personally, like my own self. I'm only gonna cry over my own spilled milk so many times. So eventually, I'm going to figure out the solution, and or I'm going to figure it out while I'm knocking over some more milk. I'm not gonna keep looking for ways to, have people help me stop knocking over this damn milk, if I'm not putting forth the efforts, right? So
Yeah, it's good to have both people sometimes.
it is, but I appreciate
You know,
when
the problem
people
is sometimes people only
I
lean to the
appreciate when
people
people
when
know
they
the boundaries though. And I appreciate when people know what they're getting themselves involved with, certain types of people,
So me and my sister, we will preface our conversations like every time, like, all right, I got the vent, I got to get this out.
Right.
So she know I'm in vent mode. I'm about to get something off my chest, and she's just gonna let me get it all out.
We do that
Or
too.
I'll have all right, I need to run this by you. Like,
right.
I need your input on this. I need you
Right.
to tell me if I'm wrong or if I'm, whatever.
Right.
But we'll let each other know up front, so we know if we just listening in or letting them take it in, or if
this is
we
what I'm
are
looking for in this conversation,
right? Or if I'm looking for you to be the voice of reason, so,
right? This is what important. I need.
Let's do. Hold on.
But Trace did follow up, and he said it depends on the relationship with the best friend. So I mean, we pretty much already,
So again, this thing is wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. And I knew it was gonna be wrong. When I keep saying no
exceptions is not fair.
I hate that. That's that trolling stuff. I'm telling you, it's trolling.
He said he wanted them to click on it.
Okay, so let okay, no. Okay, we're getting somewhere now. Let's go here. Any man who likes her. I'm gonna have to agree with this one. I think I gotta agree with this one.
Yeah.
If somebody likes you, then what's the purpose? Like, what would be your purpose of? How genuine of a friend can a person be if they like you beyond the lines of friendship? I was gonna say good. They can still be a good friend, but they're not a genuine friend
because they have ulterior. Do they have to have ulterior motives, or can they just have
if they like you and they're not with you, then
hidden feelings? Because hidden feelings don't necessarily create ulterior motives.
Yeah, they do. Yes, they do.
But not all.
Oozing out of your pores.
They don't have to.
And that's how people. No, that's now that is one of the main things where you have to lean to the other person. Like, and I think at a certain age, then mature people start to figure it out more. But like, me and you could be hanging out, and then you'd be like, "Oh, this is my friend George, this and this and this and that." And then after about an hour, I'm like, George like you, right? What? No, he don't. Look, trust me, George like you.
Right.
It's easy to another man can see it easily. Just like I can be hanging out with a homegirl and like, she like you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, she like you. Like, oh, well, whatever.
And that's why I said what I said, that other men pick up things in other men that women don't. So I can see dude having leg to stand on, new boo having leg to stand on in some of these situations, because he's going to automatically see some things that I or women may not catch. But
now that so
like to them was already there. There was already
let me go back to this though.
Okay.
Shouldn't be talking. See, that's the thing. Shouldn't be talking to. I can't go that far because let me be honest. And maybe I'm this could be my ego arrogant self. A lot of the people who talk to me like me. And even more of the people who talk to my girl like her.
Right.
Like that's just a part of life. It ain't like something that I can deter you from. That's something that you're going to have to learn how to navigate through.
Right.
Now, that don't mean that they get to be your friend and they don't get to have certain access to space to this and this and that. But no, you can't talk to them because they like you. No, that's something that you're going to have to live with. It's always going to be somebody who like me. And at this age and stage of my life, I can identify most of the people who like me. And I know they like me, but that's all right. I know how to navigate through that. Long as they ain't stepping no lines, I ain't stepping no lines, then I navigate through it. And even with those people, a lot of times I make sure that I draw boundaries.
Right. So again, there goes the discipline, and that's why I think.
Right. And not only that, not only that also is because one, I draw boundaries for myself.
Right.
And if I know that the other person likes me, I make sure that I keep a line for that person because I don't want them getting comfortable. And this is the other part. If I can tell that they like me, then I know for sure my girl can tell that they like me.
Hell yeah. And that's gonna be a problem.
And see, it becomes a problem if I
Well,
don't
it's gonna
know
be a
it.
problem if I'm the girl, but maybe some
But
women might
no,
not
I'm
have an
saying,
issue, but
listen,
I'm gonna
no, but
have an
listen to
issue.
what I'm saying. This is your mind. This is what I learned. It becomes a problem
Mm-hmm.
if she like me, but I don't even see she like me. That's how you fall into stuff and you become susceptible. You become
Mm-hmm.
prey because you don't even see the angle that's going on. If there is an angle going on, you don't even see it happening. But then when I start telling people, like, yeah, I know. Ain't nothing gonna catch me by surprise. I know.
Right.
But that's life. I have to navigate through that. Even in business and life and podcasting and all different type of stuff I'm doing. If I can't navigate through life just because somebody like me, then I ain't gonna get too far.
Right.
And it's the same. And see, and this is the thing. This is the thing where women get hypocritical because women, they will take that mindset like, oh no, that she like you, she got something up her sleeve, this and this and this and that, blah 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 blah. But y'all been dealing with that damn near your whole life. Y'all know dudes who like y'all. Y'all over time you've learned how to keep certain people at bay because you know they like you, you know where they at, you know if you opened up that door, they'd come flying through it. Right. Women have learned how to navigate through life with people liking them, men and women.
Right.
But when it comes to men and this some girl over here, like, oh no, stay away from I'm learning how to navigate through it. I've learned how to navigate through it just like it's second nature to you.
Right.
So just because I might learn a couple years ago, then don't act crazy around me when you deal with the same thing. I know this. I see people, they like you all the time. I know this. So ain't no need in, ain't no need in getting fresh with me when that's the same thing that you deal with on a regular basis. And you've been dealing with that, like Chris Rock said, ever since you was 13.
Literally, right? It's not before.
To the point you don't even think about it no more.
Yeah, I mean, and you're not going to get through life without people liking you. And that doesn't mean they're going to like you forever. It doesn't mean they're going to like you all the time. But like, you're going to have to deal with people who like you. However, would you want your woman being friends with, talking to, communicating with a man that likes
that's why I went back to the post. Friends, no. But talking to, having a conversation with, sharing the same spaces with, that ain't the same thing. That's just stuff that you got to live with. Right. Now, the moment you, no, they can't be your friend because they like you.
Right.
But just because they talking and you have to navigate the same space on some type of level. That's just life.
Well, and obviously, right, I say obviously, but if it were to become a situation where person clearly was no longer or did not respect boundaries or space, then you gotta go, obviously.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me get to some of these comments. I don't know who, but these days, a lot of people will act like they like you, but they really don't like you. They just want a part of you or some type of access, but they really don't like you. That's a form of like. I would call that a form of like.
Whether they just like your body or they like you. They might not actually like you at all. That can't be right. Yeah.
It's a form of attraction on some type of level. They might be attracted to your energy. They might be attracted
they're a user. That's a user. You don't like any fucking thing about me. You're literally just using me to get to whatever it is that you're trying to get close to by way of using me as a stepping stone. That's not
well, you know what? Those people are easy for me to. I don't have that issue as much because I can weed those people out really easily. So
I never smacked that said that. He over on the Freethinkers page is typing his fingers off, but ain't on this goddamn video.
Let me see the other part. In order for you to advance in different levels of life, be a business or venture, people have to like you.
Right.
If you run from people that like you, you can't advance in those areas. Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying. That's what I kind of agree. You just can't run away from oh my god. And like, yeah, people gonna like me. I'm a likable person.
Right. It's okay.
And I'm not ugly. So that's,
okay to be
you know,
liked.
so what it is. I'm gonna make myself mean and not attractive. That just comes with it.
Some women would prefer their men to literally, he said he's driving. Okay, my bad. Some women would prefer their men to be like that. They would prefer their men, and some men would prefer their women to be that way as well.
That's that weird, twisted insecurity stuff where you want your man to be unattractive. And you know what? And then by the time he ain't attractive to nobody else, then why would you want him if don't nobody else want him?
Right.
You can't have it both ways. That's immature. That's an immature mindset.
Well, there's a lot of immature mindsets out there.
I didn't say it
which is the using somebody as a stepping stone. That's hella immature. That's terribly immature. In order for you to advance to the next business. Yeah. All right. So we got exes. No. We got exes. We got the best friend.
Okay, let's go real quick. The like, if they used to like you, but
man
they don't
who
like
liked
you no
her,
more.
man who liked her.
Past tense.
He used to like
once
her.
upon a time.
Used to have a thing for you back in the day. Or was it just, has he always had a thing for her and she's never reciprocated, but she's never got rid of him because he's a good dude and he'll stay in his place. But you know, he's always made it known.
Now. That ain't the statement. You just changed the statement. The statement was like past tense.
He likes her, but she don't like him. Maybe he likes her, but she's never reciprocated that like. But she's not gotten rid of him because he's not a threat. So does she have to get rid of him? I mean,
like her.
He's probably insignificant.
So what's
realistically in her life? But
if he liked her at one point in time and he don't like her like that anymore, assuming that we assume that statement is true and it was somebody who, and first we have to admit that there's people that we liked at one point in time and we don't like them like that no more.
Right.
So if that can be true and this can be that instance, then would that be a problem?
I think that's one of those that goes back to like your behavior. Is your behavior trustworthy? Are you trustworthy? Do you maintain discipline and boundaries? Like, are you yourself good
so
in that space, or are you weak in those things? And if you're weak in those things, then you can't be around somebody that used to like you. That's temptation just waiting to kick in the door. I think.
That goes back to a personal insecurity. Like, why would it be if they no longer like you?
Oh, if they no longer like them. Well, but they used to still. They still used to.
And that's the problem for people who used to like you.
It might be for some people. They still used to like you. You know, what did they like about you then? Why did they stop liking you? What was it that caused, you know, we're getting Amber Alert, sorry. What was it that caused them to stop liking you? Is it just because they got into other relationships or you got into other relationships? Did you not give them no time of day? You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's so many reasons, like, why did you stop liking somebody? Because usually when you like somebody, you just like somebody. You just like them. Usually.
Doesn't mean you like them forever, though, just because you like somebody.
You like them in different ways. You can start to appreciate them and value them in different ways. So you may not necessarily have like a physical maybe interest in them as much.
Somebody past tense and be like, oh yeah, I liked them at one point in time, and now, and not only that like ain't coming back no more. Like, no, that was.
Well, hopefully in most cases, like ain't coming back, but it could.
And I think you dig. I think anybody's digging too far. Like, I think. And it's very subjective for one. Like, what you mean? Did they like you? Did they just see you at a bar and they thought you was cute? Did that mean that they, you know?
Right. What does like mean to you?
It's way too subjective.
Like is very subjective because you could just be cute to somebody.
For me to, and not only that, how would you know? I guess unless they told you, but like, how would you know that this person liked you at one point in time?
Right. Well, maybe there was mutual flirting. Maybe I used to flirt a little bit. Maybe I used to, what they call, you had a work wife or a work husband. You had, you know, so it was, you know, nothing was ever acted upon, but the shared interest, or maybe not even just so much shared, but the expressed interest in the person, you know, it doesn't mean it has to be reciprocated, but you know, it's different dynamics.
Okay. Well, I mean, we might get this done early. I think we down to last. We got 15 minutes, but we down to the last one.
Go into it.
Now, and this one I think gonna be short. Maybe, I don't know.
She used
A
to
guy she used to like.
Oh man. The guy she used to like. I think so.
I don't see that as being a problem either, because
I think it depends on your woman.
I think it's easier. I think it's easier for a woman to stop liking a man. Like, a woman can like a man initially, and then like either his conversation or whatever, how he is as a person, can totally turn them off, and they're like, oh, I did like him. I don't like him at all, and I'll never like him again because his personality is just,
he's so annoying.
That's it. Now, a man on the other side, he could physically like a woman, and she can have a bad, annoying personality, and he'd be like, oh man, I would never talk to her. But that don't mean that he still wouldn't do it. Even though he don't like her. Like, we can still move forward physically.
I don't like her no more, but I still hit it.
But for a lot of women, the non-physical aspect of a person can make them physically unattractive to them.
True. Yes,
Yeah.
they can.
And I don't think it goes both ways with me and all that. Sometimes, but not all the time.
You don't think men? You think it's rare that men lose a physical interest in somebody once it's already been established, regardless of what she does.
And he still don't like her. He's like, oh, no, but that don't mean
she's still fine.
Right. Oh, yeah. I mean, I knock her off still, but I can't stand it. Like, that's just the difference. So
yeah.
And not 100%, but I mean more the tendencies wise.
So the last one was any guy that she used to like. The reason I said I think it depends
on. That's what I was saying. Any guy she used to, for me, any guy she used to like, that wouldn't be, if she used to like him past tense, then, and she says she don't like him no more, I get it. I can get it. I'm like,
right. Okay. True.
So that wouldn't be like, oh no, once you liked him, that means you always like him. No. Now, for a man, once he's attracted to you, not always. It is some stuff that can turn a man off, but I mean, probably smells more than anything. But
if you're bad hygiene,
it don't even have to be bad hygiene. It's not, and that's the thing. It's not always bad hygiene. Sometimes it could just be a compatible smell. Their scent is not compatible with your nose. And I don't mean you stink. It just means there's whatever their pheromone or whatever it is. It don't. Nah.
I feel like I've been so fortunate. I don't know. Maybe I've lucked out of love a lot, but the few loves that I have had, I've been fortunate, I guess, in some aspects, because I have never experienced an incompatibility with somebody's smell. Like, and it's funny that you mentioned that, because I love the way that, like, my man smells. Like, I love the way that he smells. Like, I want to smell him all the time. Right. So it's interesting. I've never been with somebody who had a smell that was, uncharacteristic like that. But we just talked about this on oh my God, we talked about this on my page. It was terrible. I think it was on my page. That's
what about Ashley Key says. Yes, one of my friends smells like bologna sometimes.
Oh no.
I mean, unless you like. I like a fried bologna sandwich, but that I don't like.
We all can get a little funky and spunky from time to time if that's just what the temperature calls for. But that's an interesting one. I don't know.
And like I said, it's not even it's not. Some people, they stink. It don't necessarily have to be stink. It's just not compatible.
I'm so glad I've not smelled a man that turned me off. Like, none of my men, and again, it ain't been a whole bunch of them. So maybe my input on some of these is from a different space, but like I've never smelled a man who bothered me, like, and I've never and never have my men smell bothered me. That's interesting. So that makes me sad that like you could see somebody who you was really attractive to, and like you get up on me like, oh my god, it just won't go away. Like this is not a pleasant smell.
Yeah, and I've heard men say that a lot of times. Like no, like oh yeah, I was she smelled weird. I was like, what she stink? No, she didn't stink. She just no.
Maybe because they just don't want to say this. Well,
no, because I know what they mean. It's not that they stink. It's just that it's not a compatible. An aroma and a nose have to be compatible, and sometimes it's not.
Oh well, I hope I don't have that experience, because that would be so sad for me to have to be. But
that's one of the that's like nature and instinct. That's nature and instinct. That just means that person ain't for you.
Well,
it really do.
That's true.
It really
that's your body's pheromones. That's
your body.
That's your body's receptors and messengers sending it to yours. And
nope, ain't the one.
Oh no.
Nope, ain't the one.
Yeah, the other reason that I have mentioned it varying on your woman is because so I'll use me as an example. I don't like a lot of men. I don't like. That doesn't mean I like women, no shade, but like, so in my comment of saying I don't like a lot of men, that's not because I like a lot of women. I don't like a lot of men, period. I don't. I'm not turned on by a lot of men. I'm not attracted by a lot of men. I'm not impressed by a lot of men. So there are very few men in my life who have even had the position to get close to me. So I would feel like the man who comes into my life, Nubu, it would possibly have some issues with a man that I liked in my past. Again, this goes back to speaking to my character. I'm not going to touch something that I had no business touching. So I may have liked you, but I'll never touch you again. But I can see that dynamic being an issue because I don't like many people. So if I liked somebody at one point, I must have gone hard for this person. That could make Nubu feel some type of way. Like there's definitely a bond there that is more than just, she's dated numerous men. So yeah, there's always been some, here and there and ins and outs and, whatever. No, not for me. I'm not a dater. I'm not a serial dater.
Golly.
Do what?
So you got to be secure.
You do have to be secure, but that's the problem though, Q, is most people are not secure.
I know, they're not.
So starting from like trying to find solutions, like most people are not secure, and that's why all these situations go south real fucking quick.
I'm about to sound real, man. I'm probably gonna sound super arrogant on this. Sometimes,
oh, shit.
I say don't be insecure, but sometimes you got to make sure you don't have a reason to be insecure.
What do you mean?
There's some people who are insecure and they have a reason to be. They have a reason to be insecure.
Meaning what? They're doing something or the partner's doing something?
that you have major character flaws that will cause other people to find more interest in other people. So here go my arrogant part. I'm not the best in the world, but I'm still one of a kind.
Right.
There's not there's not a let me go in on myself.
Just had this conversation with somebody yesterday.
I mean, I know I have a lot to bring to the table, and what I have to bring, a lot of people don't possess. You ain't just gonna get that everywhere.
Yeah.
So okay, so and the reason I said the only reason I said that is because if someone steps out on me, I don't have to internalize it as if, oh, I wish I would have been this, or I would have been better with this. I would have been, no, I'm good. I'm pretty solid all the way around. Mm-hmm. So if they stepped out, then that it doesn't speak to my flaws or deficiencies. It speaks to something within them that they need to address.
True.
So my security is in I'm a pretty complete person. So I don't have to, there's no reason for me to internalize something that someone does against me. Even And I don't even have to go as far as cheating, but if if you got an attitude with me, like if you don't, that's why I say, if you don't like me, something wrong with you. I'm a very likable person. And I mean, just on a regular friendship conversational level. I'm easy to get along with. I'm very understanding. I got good perspective. I'm helpful. I'm nice. I'm kind. I'm like a lot of things. If you don't like me, then there's something wrong with you. And I really mean that, like,
Right.
wholeheartedly. Oh man, you got some stuff you need to deal with.
Right.
Now, I'm saying that's only me speaking from a certain perspective. Now, if you are insecure or jealous or you have not learned yourself, you don't know how to articulate or communicate your thoughts or feelings, and there's a lot of things to where if someone looked outside of you to find something, then I could see why you'd be insecure of that, because you yourself, I guess you yourself are not complete. So yeah, maybe you should feel maybe you should internalize that. And not internalize it in a bad way, internalize it like, oh man, maybe I got some work to do. Maybe it could be them, it could be me, it could be I got more work to do.
Yeah.
Could be I'm not in the space to be in a relationship right now. I need to find myself before I start trying to connect with somebody else. It could be a variety of things, but my sentiment, or a person who's mature and secure, I can't encourage everyone to have that same sentiment, because sometimes it is you. And I can look back in my past. Sometimes there was certain times, oh, it ain't me, it was you. No, it was me. I was the problem.
Like, it was for sure it was me.
It was definitely me.
Right.
And I had to work on myself until I got to the place to be like, oh, it ain't me.
Right.
But that's a tough one. But
so somebody that she's liked is okay then for you. You don't have a problem with that one, for the most part.
Say that one more time.
So the last one, her having somebody in her life that she liked, there's no exception on that, or there is exception to that?
Yes, it's absolutely exception.
So there's exceptions on every single one of these.
That's what I said.
Right. Every single one of these has an exception, but there are so many people.
The only one
with this.
The only one I kind of gave exception to is someone who currently likes you, but that's just saying you can't be friends with somebody who currently likes you, but that don't mean you can't, have dealings with them.
Right.
So yeah, this whole thing which I knew already, but it was fun talking about it at least.
Well, then so at the very bottom it says this is not called being controlling. It is.
Yes, it is.
I know, right? It is called having boundaries and being a self-respecting man.
And that's what controlling people say.
Are you really a self-respecting man if this is the list that you give your woman? Like, based on all the things that we just talked about, if you really are a self-respecting, you actually don't have, in my opinion, you can't have self-respect if you don't value yourself enough to have security. First of all, if you're an insecure person, you lack knowledge and value of self. Otherwise, you really wouldn't be as insecure. So can you be a self-respecting man if you are so insecure that this is the list that you present to your woman to try to prevent whatever it is that you're trying to prevent by canceling all these people out of her life? That's not self-respecting.
So first of all, I think these are characteristics of someone who can be narcissistic and controlling. Although there's characteristics, it's not automatic. So there can be also self-respecting men who follow by these rules. And I'd also argue this is not a sign that you are a self-respecting man. You can be a self-respecting man, and like I said, you ain't got to think any of these are valid.
Right.
I don't think this is the measure of what a self-respecting man is. But I don't automatically dismiss you. Those are characteristics of someone who has controlling tendencies. And everybody who has controlling tendencies, some people, some things can be cultural. You start dating Africans, then,
and that's true too.
Or people in different cultures, then it's just the culture. It has nothing to do. That don't mean that they're insecure. That don't mean that they are whatever. But it could just be a cultural thing also.
Well, and then, you know, there's some religious parts that can fall into this too. I mean, so there is. I realize that it's not just black and white by any means. That's the part that, of
So when
course,
it
got
says no
me.
exceptions, it's an
Yeah,
absolute
like
lie.
I circled that like 50
Listen,
times on my
God,
notebook. I was like,
please.
no exceptions is totally unreasonable.
I just want to say this. We had 90 minutes. All I want to say is this. We talked about this for entertainment purposes.
Right.
Because it's just good conversation, and it's entertaining to me, even though I kind of had my thoughts on it.
Right.
I pray to God that there's so many people on social media, they take some of this stuff and they try to make it law like it's the God's truth, and it's not.
Right.
It's not. And the moment you start taking this stuff as the Bible and God truth, and this is, you know, this is the 100, then that number one, it means that you're not secure in who you are, because you taking too much advice from outside sources and not having your own opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But number two, you're gonna mess up a lot of relationships you take.
Mm-hmm.
And I see a lot of, you know, they got Kevin Samuel fan clubs and stuff like this. Y'all worshiping people who, like, he said some good stuff, but you ain't got to take everything he said. Like, he said some stuff that'll mess your relationship up too.
Right.
You gotta know how to decipher the difference between what's
and
what.
Some people can't. Some people
and
can't. Some people
know
can't.
that there's like we spent 90 minutes just talking about the gray areas of all these things. There's gray areas, and if you don't think there are, then you're gonna mess your relationship up.
You're definitely gonna mess a relationship up. You will not have a successful relationship if you don't think that there's gray areas involved. But I agree.
I agree. That was a good conversation.
It was a good conversation. Thank you, Adriana, for suggesting that. And as usual, if you guys have any ideas or any topics, things that you want to hear or see us talk about, let us know. Send us stuff, DM us stuff. Bring your behind on here at 8:05 on Tuesday nights and join us. Have this conversation with us. We sometimes, like I said, it's fly by the night. It's last minute Tuesday. So if you got some ideas, send them to us, and we will see y'all next Tuesday. Good night.
Good night.